A while ago, John Allen Large from the Dice Diaries posted a really good question. What three things do you look for in a role playing game? And as soon as I watched the video, I really wanted to do a video response. I guess I'm busier than I think I am. It's taken me a while. And this morning, I saw in my YouTube notifications that Tim Harper had posted his video response, and it made me realize how much time had passed, and I still hadn't done it. So I'm stealing a few minutes and trying to do it now. Okay, I'm going to play with the question a little bit in that for me, I get a lot of games in PDF and in print, and it may seem to some like I'm looking for something in a role playing game and not finding it. I keep buying more games. What are you looking for? Well, I'm finding it all the time. And this question is cool because it's an opportunity to articulate what it is that you're looking for. I find that there are games that maybe you buy, and the intention really is only to read them. And then there are others that you buy knowing that you intend to run them as the game master. And then there are still others that you buy because you think, how cool would it be to play them? My favorite of all of these, the experience that I'm looking for is the type of game I want to both run and play, where the ideas for character and the ideas for campaign kind of bubble up and intermix and compete for one another. Those are the cool games. The games that, you'll even buy a copy of and give to someone and hope that they will do you the favor of running the game. Sometimes they even do. Games like, for me, these are games like Shadowrun, which at one point, way back in the beginning of my relationship with Shadowrun, I vowed I would never run. This will be the game that I play, And more recently with Triple Ace games, All for One, Regime, and Diabolique. This is another game that I wanted to play. I'll run the others, just, somebody run this one for me. Of course, these days that just doesn't work out. So let's get to the three things. I've noticed that the games I want to run and play have three things in common. They might have other things in common, but these three things particularly speak to the nature of this video. And I'm going to give them my own labels, and those labels, are just for this video. I'm going to use theme, coherence, and readability. Now, theme, for the purpose of this video, all I'm really talking about is that the game has a clear sense of itself. When the writer or writers were writing, they knew what they were talking about. They had this vision in mind. And more than having that vision, the game actually expresses it, or it expresses something clear. It communicates visually and in text and through system and through the way that character creation works. As you expose yourself to this game, you know what you want to do with it. It has a clear theme. And maybe my group and the group down the street do something different with it. But regardless, our exposure to that game creates a clear sense of purpose when we sit down to play it. So it has this strong theme. This is definitely a factor. The next one that I mentioned was coherence, and this gets used for a lot of things, both as a compliment and as an insult. The game is not coherent, meaning its mechanics are fighting what the game is actually saying that it's trying to do, or some people use it when they talk about a system is just seems like a mishmash of different approaches. Like to do this in the game system, it's a random roll on a chart, and to do something else, it's an opposed roll, and blah blah blah. I don't mean that. I mean that the game communicates coherently. Remember, I'm talking about games that I want to run and play, so I want other people in the group to be able to pick up this book and feel confident as a game master to run it. And coherence plays a role here in that. For me, in the context of this video, I say again, Coherence is that it doesn't inspire in you, as the game master, the urge to fix the game in any aspect. You're not going to mess with the culture or mess with the character options or mess with the system in some way. You're not going to suddenly say, I prefer the damage resistance from this other game, so I'm going to import that. Or I don't like any of the character choices, and even though this is a game about investigation, we are going to play soldiers, and on and on and on. You know what I mean? That the theme is transmitted to everyone. The mechanics are understood by everyone. The character creation process is understood by everyone. And we're all able to do that the same way so that everyone has the opportunity to experience the vanilla, the basic, the printed version of the game. When I buy a game, I would like to play what I see in it. And not all games communicate themselves coherently. Not all games have that strong theme. And so this becomes impossible. So while if we're talking about a toolkit game, that doesn't matter. When you're talking about a licensed property or you're talking about something that's focused very clearly on a genre, then that becomes more important. And it's those games that I respond to most. And so coherence becomes a major factor to me. Coherence as defined in this video. So that brings us to the last aspect, readability. And this is the simplest of the three, but it contributes the most to the other two actually happening, I feel. And that's readability. Can I just open this book and read? Is it a pleasure to take in its concepts? Is it easy to find things in the book if I've forgotten something, or if I want to clarify something, if I want to share something? Is it fun to read? Can I pass the book to another player at the table and say, "Here, read this," and they get excited? So those three things. My for this video definitions of theme, coherence, and readability. And that's my answer to John Allen Large's fun question. Now, I've made it through this video without giving any examples, and maybe that's for the best. It's shorter that way.